Welcome everyone to Observe Jeremiah. This is your all access to basically anything technology-wise. I do throw in a few movies and TV shows that I actually may spin off to a different channel. What I actually have here is another system pick, and what I'm doing here is I am choosing components as if I was actually building a PC. I pick a certain price point. I do a couple of these a month. They're easy to do, they're fun to do, and I actually really enjoy doing it, even though I haven't put a component in my system in some time now. Besides, well, I did upgrade the CPU, which we'll get into when we go through the components here. The price point I picked is a little higher. $1,650 is what I'm actually choosing for this type of build. And this is the type of build where you can really focus on building a system that you're not going to have to touch for 4 or 5 years. I haven't touched mine, at least graphics card wise, in I think 3 years. It's still been running great, maybe 2 years, but $1,650, you can get a lot here. I have not included the monitor and keyboard, but I may start doing that in the future. This system is going to be focused on everything. Video editing, streaming, gaming, specifically on 1440p. You'll be able to do some 4K gaming depending on what the system's going to be. Those are going to be you'll be able to do anything with this. Photo editing, be able to run 2, 3, even 4 monitors if you want to choose. It's going to be something that you're going to be able to stick with for some time. So let's get into the components. I went with the i7-5820K. This is a 6-core processor. This is the newest processor out right now, 6-core wise, and for the price point, it's actually hard to beat this component. A 6-core processor 2-3 years ago would cost you $500, $600, $700, and it is $385 right now on Amazon. This is a steal, especially if you're doing any type of video editing, any type of rendering, any CAD work. Even photo editing, depends on how large your files are and how much you're actually doing, it helps out there. It'll help out in games a little bit. We're still not quite into past 4 cores. You do have some hyper-threading here, which will help with that for gaming, but this thing will be able to do whatever you want, and you'll be able to overclock it because it's got that K in the end of it, which K just basically means it's unlocked. You can overclock it. And with the motherboard, I went to MSI X99S SLI. I'm actually personally running this motherboard. It's running at $162 right now. And I like it mainly because it has all the features I want. Even with the cheap motherboards, this is probably one of the lower end X99 motherboards, the socket 2011, I think it's -V3, somewhere along that line. It's one of the cheaper ones. It's all black though, it really fits in well. I'll try to get a picture of what it looks like in my case right now, but I haven't had any problems with it. You can overclock it and not have any issues. I think I'm running at 4 gigahertz on my CPU right now, and I didn't try to push anything. I just did that pretty easily. So that's a motherboard that I personally run, so I would definitely pick it up. And for the cooler, this is actually something I would actually like to upgrade to. This is the Swiftech H240, and this is a neat cooler in that Swiftech, their coolers are copper, so they do a lot better than some of the aluminum Cooler Master, Corsair, some of their, well actually a lot of their coolers are actually aluminum. This is a copper design, so it's going to be you're going to be able to sustain much higher overclocks and keep your CPU much cooler. And I'm actually running the H220, which is an older version of this. I'd like to upgrade to this because it has a little bit, you can customize it. You can put different tubing on it. You can run your own loop from it if you'd like to, customize it a little bit. It's got a little bit of color to it. You'll see, throw a picture up here, but it's got a little bit of color onto it if you like things like that in your case. Definitely pick that up. It's $140, $141 on NCIX, the US site. So that's something to keep in mind. It's a little more expensive than some of the Corsair or Cooler Master ones, but I've had mine for, I think, 3 years now. I haven't had any issues, and it keeps things really cool, so I definitely pick that up. The fans are just okay on it, so you may want to upgrade to maybe some Noctua fans if you want to go that route and really push your system. But we have that there. And now I'm going to get into a little rant about memory. We have to do DDR4 here for the new socket. DDR4 memory is really expensive, so I basically went as cheap as I could with a company that I like, have good customer service, and just something that's going to be reliable. And I went with the Corsair Vengeance the LPX, 16 gigabytes, 4x4. It's going to run $150. That's still pretty cheap because these kits, when they first came out, were running $250, $300 just for the cheaper brands out there. So I've definitely picked that up if you're looking for some memory. I am personally running like some like 2 sticks of Corsair memory, so I will be upgrading to something like this in the future once funds are available and I can actually do that. So definitely did get good reviews. This is on Newegg and Amazon. They both got good reviews there. So pick that up for $150. 16 gigabytes is a lot of memory. You're going to be able to push that. Once you do some heavy video editing and heavy photo editing, you're not going to have any issues. You won't need to touch that for some time. For the storage, I went with the Samsung 850 EVO. For the price point, it's hard to beat this drive. It has good reliability. Samsung's known for producing really fast, extremely durable drives. So I picked this up. It is running $118. I've seen it a little lower. I've seen it down to $100 before. But right as of today, it's going to be $118. So pick that up, put your OS on there. You may be able to put some programs on there. I wouldn't load too many games on it because, again, it's only 250 gigabyte version, so you're not going to be able to put a lot on there. But maybe put a few, if you want to run Hearthstone or any other games you want to load quickly, that's the way to go there. You could jump up and get a 500 gigabyte version. Probably throw another 40-50 bucks at this and be able to do that. For the large storage, I went with the Seagate Barracuda, the 2 terabyte. It's running about $72 over on OutletPC, and you can get about any 2 terabyte drive for that price point. There was a Seagate's a NAS one that was also that you could pick up. There's some Western Digital Blues you could pick up for that price point, maybe even a little lower if you shop around. But this got good reviews for 72 bucks. You'll be able to throw about anything you need on there. Any games, I probably have 20 games in my Steam, and I have a 2 terabyte disk drive actually, and they're all on there with plenty of room to spare. For the video card, I went with the EVGA GeForce 970. This is the superclocked version. Picked superclocked version because it was the same price as the regular standard one, and it's $320. These cards have came down a little bit in price to where they're similar to what the 290X is on the AMD side of things, and they run similar. I've had really good experience with EVGA video cards, so that's why I picked this one. If you're an AMD guy, they had an XFX double dissipation card if you want to run like a 290X. If you're an AMD guy, I love XFX. They make great cards, great customer service. So if you want to go the AMD route, that's the way to go there. It's about a similar price, around that $300, $330. But I chose the EVGA GeForce 970. It's a good looking card, runs cool, doesn't use a lot of power, so we can get a little bit less wattage power supply and save some money there. For the case, this is a subjective thing. I went with the Corsair 750D. They have the 540 Air right now is on sale for about 90 bucks, but I went with the 750D. I think it more fits a general audience out there, and it is $120. And that is at Micro Center. You can get it at Amazon for about the same price, but Micro Center, if you have one around you, it's about $120. If not, pick it up on Amazon, Newegg. They run deals on this where I have seen it down to $100 with mail-in rebate, so it's a good looking case. Corsair makes great cases. Build quality is excellent. Definitely go that route if you're looking for a nice quality case that you maybe want to build 2 or 3 systems in the future. For the power supply, I went with XFX 650 watt 60 plus gold fully modular power supply, and it's $74. Over on Newegg, 650 watts is going to be plenty. Even if you do dual cards, you should be fine. Video cards right now don't use as much power, especially on the NVIDIA side of things. They're not really very power hungry, not like they used to be in the past. Like when you had the 680s. They were really power hungry, and then we started getting down to the 780s, which barely used any power. I'm using a 650 watt power supply, and I have similar components. I'm running a 780, and I don't have any problems. It never gets anywhere near 650 watts, so jump that route. Operating system, if you don't want to include an operating system in the price, don't do it, but I include one because 99% of the people out there are running Windows. So Windows 8.1, 64-bit version, $90. You can get that just about anywhere for $90. And then when Windows 10 comes out, you should be able to upgrade to that for free. At least that's what Microsoft's been saying. So that puts our total price point at $1,641. So you have a little bit of room to spare. What I would do if you want to bump the price point up to $1,700, throw some Noctua fans in there. Noctua makes some really good fans. It's going to do a lot better. I haven't had good luck with the Swiftech fans on the H220 I have, and I'm assuming the H240 is probably pretty similar. You can't